Hi Marcos, hope you're doing well. I thought maybe I could just send over a quick video to demonstrate some of the things I was thinking about with this squat and why it might be causing some pressure on your lower back. Just because it's easier to sort of demonstrate than put it all into words. Um, so it's really great to hear that the kind of deadlift and Romanian deadlift aren't causing those problems anymore, and that they're feeling strong. But interesting that the squat is, and I wonder if one of the reasons that might be is about sort of hip orientation. I think with the what tends to be the main cause, I think, of um, lower back pain in these sorts of bending over movements is when our hips go from a kind of a neutral position, or even a what's this called, like a sort of a forward tilt at the hips, where you have this nice kind of curve to the lower back, to a kind of backward hip tilt. So we kind of go from here to here. Neutral is fine with weight. So if we're able to keep a neutral spine like this as we sort of hinge down in a Romanian deadlift, or as we sort of bend down into a deadlift position, you can see my hips are fairly high. But with the squat, what happens is that as we come down into a squat, we've got neutral hips. One of two things can happen: either our sort of ankle mobility isn't there, or our sort of hip mobility isn't there. We're not getting our knees out wide enough to be able to create space in between. And at a certain point, our the sort of hamstrings pull the hips back into that kind of backward tilt. If you think about this movement, this position here, they kind of pull the hips back underneath, and bang. If we have weight on our back now in a deep position, then you're going to feel that pressure on your lower back. That's what I would think is happening. That's what I would guess. So I would just in the first instance, I'd just be interested to just identify, is that what's going on? Like, maybe take a video, maybe feel for yourself. Okay, is it a question of you're kind of in the nice sort of neutral position, your abs are engaged, and then at a certain point your hips kind of come out of position, like you start to have that little rounding of the lower back in the bottom position, and then you can't regain that position, the sort of the neutral position, as you stand back up and you're getting lower back pain? Or is it something else? What it also might be is if you're kind of like leaning too far forward in the squats, then the bar's kind of coming over your center of gravity. But if we know that it's that issue, there are things that we can do to work around it. One of the things we can do is kind of elevate the heels slightly, so that when we come down, we're able to kind of keep a more upright position. So with the front squats, for example, when you have the weight in front, sometimes you can find that you can keep the neutral position of the spine even deeper because your weight's out in front, so it just changes the mechanics slightly. We can do goblet squats. Like I say, we could raise the heel maybe with something. Or it might just be that we just don't go down as low, we just don't go down as deep into the squat. We say, okay, the bottom of the squat for you, rather than trying to get all the way down here, is somewhere like this point where you can keep the neutral spine, and then you stand back up again. Okay, and that's good enough. So yeah, have a little think about that. See what your response is, and see if we can kind of get to the bottom of where this why this lower back discomfort is happening. Okay.